Good morning, my wild and beautiful friends. I'm so glad you're here. Cookie making season is upon us, and while I love a good treat and all the yummy things that come along with the holidays, I thought it'd be fun and maybe a little helpful to share a really quick and easy no-bake protein bar recipe. It definitely satisfies that sweet tooth and can maybe hold you over to your next holiday meal. Keep on watching to see how we make them. Okie dokie, guys. First thing we need for this recipe are quick oats. I've got 3 cups that I'm adding to a large bowl. And to that, I'm going to add in a cup of chocolate protein powder. Use whatever brand you like best or whatever you've got on hand. It'll all work. I prefer Shakeology at the moment. I love this Recover. The flavor of this plant-based protein, super good. And it has a lot of extra vitamins and minerals and such. So it works really well for me. And I have a lot of it. So I'm going to whisk that all together and kind of just get out those clumps and make sure we don't have any giant chunks of protein powder going on. And while I was doing this in a small saucepan, I had about 11 ounces of almond butter just heating up so it's nice and pourable. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup just to give us a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to stir this in really quick, and then we're going to just dump it right onto our oats and protein powder. You can, of course, use a microwave for this step. Actually, my microwave's outside, so I haven't used it in a while. I'm going to, of course, use a spatula to get all those goodies out of the rest of the pan, but I will spare you having to watch. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of dark chocolate chips as well. I like adding them this way because they'll melt in a little bit, but also stay a little bit chunky for our texture factor. So instead of just folding or hand mixing our ingredients together, I'm purposely using a hand mixer. And the reason why is those beaters are breaking down the oats just a little bit. You're going to get some pieces of whole oat, but you're also going to get some almost like oat flour. It breaks it down just enough that when we put it all together, it has more of like a protein bar texture instead of just an oat cookie. So I've gone through with this. It's just a very dry dough right now. I just kind of was making sure that all of our wet ingredients were spread out. Once we've got this sandy, pebbly type mixture, we're going to start adding water and it's going to all come together really fast. This took me about 2 minutes of mixing. Then I'm just going to slowly drizzle in some water. We're going to do about 1 cup. Start small and just drizzle and keep blending as you go. As you can see, it's starting to come together into those bigger sized pebbles. It's going to depend on the protein powder you're using as far as how much water you want to use. So I'd start with 1/2 cup at a time and see how you go. And as soon as you have a dough that comes together and sticks together when you squeeze it, you're looking good. Side note, isn't this mixer stinking cute? I got it on Amazon recently. I love the color and it's working really well. I love my stand mixer, my KitchenAid, but this is really convenient for something quick and easy. So I'm stoked that I have it. Okay, we're at about 1 cup of water after this last little bit and we're looking nice and mixed up. You can see the dough is definitely more wet. And I'm just going through and checking that it will come together when I squeeze it. Super simple, right? So I'm just going to remove our dough from our beaters. It's all stuck up in there. And we're going to grab a baking dish. This is like a 9.5 by 11 baking dish. And I've got some parchment paper here. I bought these sheets. Quick parchment paper trick. If you want it to fit in any shape container, you can take your sheet and scrunch it up a couple times and it makes it a lot more pliable. And then it'll fit into your pan or awkward shaped, whatever you're going to use, a lot more easily. So I'm just placing this in our pan here. And I'm going to plop all of our dough in and I'm going to press it in pretty well. I'm also going to go through with the back of my measuring cup, that's what it's called, and make sure it's kind of even and the edges get nice and smushed down. Don't be like super meticulous, but we want it to be smushed enough that when we cut it, it's going to be a solid bar, like so. And then we're going to take another 1/2 cup of our dark chocolate here. I've melted on a double boiler or the microwave. And we're going to spread around just a super thin layer. It's going to make it a little bit more sweet, add another texture, and it's also going to hold our bars together. So triple purpose chocolate over here. So once our chocolate situation's spread out nice and thin, I'm just going to let these chill out on the counter for about 10 minutes and set, and then we're ready to cut them into bars. These little bars have been working perfectly for an on-the-go breakfast for me. I've been taking them to work, and when I'm feeling hungry or there's a yummy snack around, I will eat one of these instead, and it seems to really hold me over. Steve and I will have these as a late night snack as well, so we don't eat something worse, which is really helpful. So I hope this is helpful for you in finding a sweet alternative that's something a little bit more on the healthy side during the holiday season, or any season for that matter. I also hope you're having a wonderful holiday season so far. Thank you so very much for watching. I can't wait to talk to you all soon. Cheers.